Hello everybody, Martin here, back with another Legacy Storm video. Playing Ad Nauseam Tendrils. On the list I've been playing for the last little bit, 2 Past in Flames, 1 Empty the Warrens in the main, 1 each of Dark Petition and Grim Tutor, and 2 Tendrils of Agony, alongside the 4 Infernal Tutors. That's the business. 1 each of Thoughtseized and Duress, no preordains. Sideboard, I'm running this spicy bad boy, Sinks of the Final Word, to bring in against Miracles, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching another video I just recently uploaded where I actually got this in play, and merriment and chaos ensued. So please go watch that. It was awesome. Best time I've had playing Magic for like a long time. The rest of the sideboard is still like, it's very anti-miracle centric. Other than those cards, we've got this Anti-Swarms to bring in against blue-based combo decks with Force of Will, like Sneak and Show and Omnitel, High Tide, Reanimator, or whatever. I also bring them in against Infect. Ad Nauseam also to come in against those sideboard those combo decks, and got Massacre against the Thalia decks, along with a Singleton Chain of Vapor to shore things up. Alright, so we've got this hand, and that's certainly a spicy one. Our opponent kept. I really feel like keeping, especially because we're on the draw as well. Like, it's super vulnerable, right? But let's do it. In the blind, don't know what I'm playing. Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Might be the Mirror. Which I suppose could both be a blessing and a curse, given this hand. Like, Cabal Therapy right now kind of hurts us, although like because they could obviously go for the 2-for-1 and LED, but I don't think it's actually completely obvious that if they have a therapy then that they should name LED. Like, taking Brainstorm or Petal are also fine choices. They don't do anything but play out a Tarn. So like here we could go, I think we have to Petal and then Brainstorm. If we hit a land, we're like off to a pretty good start. Well, I guess they have Daze or Pierce or Red Blast. Really? Okay, well, I can't do anything about that. Actually, hang on. I was just thinking I could actually just go LED and then flashback, Past in Flames, but that wouldn't get us anywhere. We don't have a tutor. We can't float blue mana. So they don't get to draw land. We get to draw land. I think we just pass the turn. Still, like, no real reason. We don't want to Past in Flames with only like a Brainstorm as our only piece of action, and we're not taking any damage. I'm really not really sure what we're up against though. Some sort of Pyromancer deck, I would guess. But the Red Blast main really throws me off. Might be someone Bolt in a turn. Okay. Our version of Ant is really well set up to handle that sort of pressure because we're not playing main deck Ad Nauseam. So like we can soak up that sort of pressure for a while. So that's what they're doing right now. They're assuming they have to just put our life total under pressure, but so I guess, like, what do I want to do here? We're not, like, I could fetch out. The reason I'm hesitating here, like, because the obvious thing I guess would be to fetch out a land and then therapy them once, and hit and name Force of Will, I guess. They're not making land drops, so their hand is like either a lot of burn, which would explain why they just keep throwing bolts at us willy-nilly, or like counter spells, I guess. The thing is though, I'm a bit hesitant. Like, they could also be sandbagging a wasteland, and I don't want to get a swamp in case I draw like a cantrip. We really need something to set off our hand. On the other hand, then I'm playing sort of like them not leaving up Volcanic and choosing the Forked Boldus kind of tells me they aren't sitting on Stifle, which would otherwise be completely obvious for them to like keep up to stifle one land. But let's just see what happens. Really curious about that red blast. It just has to be like a meta call, trying to like one up everyone. Okay, basic island, young pyromancer, guess. Sure, it's fine. It's not the fastest clock in the world. Gets faster when we dome ourselves, but I like probing here, seeing what we're up against for life. Double force, snap, true name. Okay, so like I wonder if we brainstorm here, do they just snap off a force? We could also like just therapy, then they will force for sure, but I actually prefer this line and hope to hit a land. If I'm them, I don't think I necessarily force here, although it might, strictly speaking, be quite the thing to do. Okay, they do. It's fair. Like their true name isn't really a card in their hand, and this way they get to speed up the clock from potentially like a 6. Oh no! Oh man, do we just get wrecked here? Okay, well now it's real. I did not see that coming. Okay. Good news is if we hit a land, we win. Bad news is we don't really have any way to get to that land. Like land or a petal, and a land, mind you, that isn't one of island, volcanic island, or tropical island. Okay. Oh man, that felt like such a punt. Should I just have waited? So what do they do here? They do not shuffle. Their hand is force, snapcaster, and they probe into something. So now they have perfect information. So we're dead next turn. Most likely anyways. Okay. Okay, that was lucky. So we lose now if what they have drawn is either a Daze, a Flusterstorm, or a Spell Pierce. We win in any other scenario. So the question is, how do we go about this? Like, we lead on therapy. They force it. Like, they know what we have, so they have perfect information as well. Because we just do the underground sea, so there's no real point in sort of trying to bluff them. If we go for Dark Ritual, they counter it with force. We still lose to like a Daze or a Pierce. I'm just trying to work out if it would make more sense to just lead on Dark Ritual or lead on therapy. I guess Dark Ritual, because if they let that resolve, we beat Daze. Whereas if they let therapy resolve, we don't beat Daze. Okay. So now we just have to hope that their last card in hand is like a red blast or something else. Okay, sack for red. I guess we're not completely dead if they have days. We are if they have pierce. Oh, it just resolves. Fantastic. So we lead out with the Dark Ritual. Then the Cabal Ritual. And then the Infernal Tutor for Tendrils. And Storm is plenty because they have been probing themselves like nice little boys. And I was just going to probe them for life. That drops us to 4. They can't deal us 4 with 1 card, I don't think. I just want to see what they drew. Another force. Goody gumdrops. Okay, so that was nice. Alright, so kind of got away with that one. Sideboarding wise, I actually don't hate Sphinx of the Final Word here. They have a much faster clock than Miracles, so that speaks like against it, obviously, but I think maybe we just don't really bring in anything of note. Because like Santa Swarm is just not gonna like they will have burn after the sideboard, or if they don't, like if we don't see any burn in game 2 and we lose it, we might bring in swarms. Some people like to bring in Fluster Storms in a situation like this. I guess I don't really like. We didn't see Stifle. They might have it, but usually don't see Daze and Stifle accompanied by Basic Island. But I think our opponent is kind of drawing outside of the lines. So I guess I like to just not really do anything. Yep, no sideboarding. Like, they didn't show us a third color. I guess it stands to reason they would have black for Cabal Ritual. They're Young Pyromancers and Probes. But, like, even so, like, I don't like. Yeah, actually, I don't mind all the Tendrils action. That's a way to beat all those counter spells. I was going off on a trail somewhere. Yeah, like they aren't likely to have much of like permanent hate, like Grafdigger's Cage or Null Rod or whatever. They have a fast clock though, so they do have Delver. True name Nemesis and Delver. Oh, hang on, they mulliganed a bunch. How much did they mulligan? Oh, okay, just 1 card. Mulligan to 6. So, like, I think what we want here is to just sit back, hope not to die to the Insectile Aberration, which I'm sure is going to flip any moment now, and then, like, hopefully hit, like, a ritual and then tutor for a copy of that ritual, that kind of stuff. Oh, Past Flames is a nice draw here as well. But yeah, I was just saying, like, they don't really have, like, a lot of, like, they might bring in Null Rod, or they might bring in Grafdigger's Cage, but I don't think it's, like, worth it to load up on, like, removal. Like, you could go for, like, a single Chain of Vapor. I don't mind that. I've done that in the past, but I'm just not really there anymore. Like, Double Delver is a little bit of a scary thing. I don't think we can really bank on them not flipping much longer. Looks like no. Phew. Well, got lucky there. We dropped to 17 instead of 13, and they didn't even have a Wasteland. So I think if they were black, they would have gotten wait, Counterbalance? No. Oh, okay, yeah, so there's an Null Rod. Like, I think if they had black, they would have fetched, with the Misty, would have fetched an Underground Sea. So now is the time that we, of course, draw an artifact spell. Okay, we don't, but this is getting a bit ridiculous. I guess we we tutor for. I've never done this before. Like a taxing pro. Oh, this seems so bad, but like I'm just gonna do now. You could argue that we go for like a Cabal therapy, but we don't have like infinite black mana. Oops. No, no, no. Okay, play this out. Don't want to move to discard. Although I suppose we could have done that. That wouldn't have been like a terrible thing. Okay, so they continue not to flip. Okay, we're getting really lucky here. I don't want them drawing wastelands though. Actually, that's I guess they don't. Blood Moon. Okay, that's it's a bit of an issue if we draw like cantrips, but because of basic swamp, that's actually not too bad. It does mean we need to find like we're choked on the one black if we ever get to like a ritual. So let's say they flip now, they knock us down to 9, pass the turn. They have 2 cards in hand, like we're almost sort of priced into moving now. No, we're not actually. We're priced into moving next turn. So just thinking we could therapy now, going for like force of will, which might actually have been correct, because what happens now is like they most likely flip. They don't flip. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm getting so lucky today. Well, I guess that's what happens when you bring in like Blood Moon and Null Rod. I'm guessing in place of like Forked Bolt and stuff. Triple Delver. But I was going to say, like, what happens now is like we probe them and we see, like, if we draw a ritual, probe them and we see that they have like a counterspell, in which case, like, we can't really get past go. Empty the warrens. Well, I mean, if they just keep not flipping, I guess that's. I think we have to go here. Like, they flip, they triple flip, we go down to 4. This feels bad though. Hydroblast and Daze. Okay. So what is our actual out here? Hydroblast Daze. Okay, so they don't have. I guess we could therapy their Hydroblast. That's one less storm for when we actually want to do something, but that means Pass with Flames is live, which might be what we need. So like we really need to draw into a ritual, but if we do that, then we're not looking bad. Suppose they. Okay, so, and I guess we'll know if they flip with force. If they flip with a bolt, we're dead, or like a fork bolt, but. Okay, so they finally flipped, and it's another Daze. So they have double Daze, which won't be a problem if we hit a ritual, or at least not a gigantic problem. Yep, swing us down in 2. So we hit a ritual. It's not really good enough though, is it? So we have 4 mana, that becomes 6. Man, we had 1 more turn. They have double Daze. Oh, they can only Daze. No, they can cast the 1 Daze with mana and then return the island. So like we could go Dark Ritual, Past in Flames. If they don't Daze, then we Dark Ritual again. That would be 1, 2, 3. Not even close to being enough. But that is like one way where we don't lose. I guess if they double days, that means we're not making MT, so they double days here, we're dead. They double days here, we're dead. In fact, we're just dead. They are dazing. Okay, so I think I'm happy enough with the sideboard plan. They can bring in Null Rod. That's not what we lost. Blood Moon. I'll be more careful to fetch out a basic island, but I don't think that card is actually that good against us. It's good in concert with Null Rod because that means our petals are off as well. Yeah, we keep this hand. A bit loose, but we do. We die to Blood Moon. They don't have acceleration, so they won't have Blood Moon until we have had our third turn. And we're looking kind of okay. Other than that. So I wonder if we didn't, like if we had saved the probe, we could have probed once on that turn, gotten to one more storm. I don't think it matters. They mulligan to 6 and scryed their card to the bottom. Okay, so what, Delver again? Looks like it. Yep. So we now know they are running days. I almost feel like pedaling out here and brainstorming, although that I think means our hand becomes a lot worse. Although we might hit like tutor. I think we do it. This is a little bit of a loose play, especially considering they could have days. And we're like down a card, but alright, I think we can put back one therapy. We might want, we're putting back second therapy. And depending on what happens next turn, like if they flip off something we want therapy, actually, okay, I forgot. But here is like, when you have something that can be stifled against a deck that might run stifle, you want to click priority in their upkeep when they're flipping Delvers. So anyways, they grabbed a daze to flip their Delver. So we want the second therapy. But we do want to just pass the turn and see if we end up getting a Blood Moon shoved in our face. They pay with life, or with mana. That's actually clever. They saw our double tendrils, so I like that play from them. Because you saw in game 1, like they were at 14 when we went off. And that is actually a pretty big cost against Storm, I think. So we do not, however, want a third therapy, so we fetch on our upkeep. I wonder if they have Stifle. I wouldn't be at all surprised. This deck has it all. So we go for the thing is here, like we either play around them having Blood Moon, in which case we grab Island. But that means, I think that is the right thing to do, actually. I think we just pass. We would be kind of sad to see like a Grafdigger's Cage now, but you know, so be it if that happens. I would love for them to tap some mana, because like 3 open mana out of this deck is kind of scary to be blind therapy. Speak of the devil. So if they have Pyroblast, I think there's a very real chance that they Pyroblast here. But I don't think that's a reason to pay mana. It might have been though. They know we have like at least one therapy. I forget if they saw the second therapy. Hang on, set adrift. The heck? Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Okay, so that makes no sense. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. What the heck? It's a sorcery? So they hope that I play out an LED and then they get to time walk me, I guess. So their hand is Bolt, Surgical, Daze, Hydroblast, Set Adrift, and Blood Moon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's not insane. So what we do here is we fetch out a non-basic that makes black. And we surgical them. Or sorry, we therapy them. They probably surgicals in response. And I'm not really sure how to go about this because we are close to dead. Or they bolt us. Yeah. So we're at 4. And the apparition takes us down to 1. So like we're dead to a top deck bolt. Okay, so they don't surgical us. I think that's cue for us to go for it. So we could take the days and hope that like we don't get therapied, but no. We also need to take their Hydroblast in order to get Plasma Flames pushed through with our second therapy. Now their hand is Daze, Hydroblast, Set Adrift, and Blood Moon. Okay. I think we go for it with the Probe and Brainstorm. I think we have 2 Tendrils that wins us the game, or like an Infernal Tutor. So they're wondering if they should be dazing here. So we Dark Ritual. Like if they daze here, we pay with the island. Then we get 3, we get 6 from Cabal Ritual. And then we therapy, that's down to 5, 6 with the pedal. We get to Past in Flames with 2 floating and an LED we sack for blue. So like we're all humming if Brainstorm or Probe finds us something. Like I think if I'm them, I don't know man, I guess I see bolting me because, but no, because it doesn't shave like Jade one off the clock. Okay, so they are super dead to Tendrils, but I guess that's reasonable for them to do this. So we definitely want to pay because we want our 3 mana and we want to be able to take their Hydroblast. Hydroblast. Okay. Alright, so let's see here. So we sack this for blue. We have no way of answering this insectile aberration. I didn't bring in the chain of vapor, so like we are just dead next turn. I think I probe for life here first. in case we hit like a pond or something we want to use the mana on. It doesn't really matter. I guess if we hit another probe at some point when we're at 2, then, but I mean, same difference then than now. I think actually just quickly get out the claw ritual in case I blank out and forget to watch out for threshold, but that's probably not going to happen because we don't have that many blue cards in the yard. I probe before brainstorm because, like, if I don't find a shuffle effect, then this is 1 card deeper. Oh my, life is easy. That I seriously, I swear I don't get this lucky all the time. Let's see what storm is. 15. GG. Wow. Okay, so kind of feel like I got away with I got away without paying the check on that one, if you get what I mean. But I guess them are the breaks. That was a really interesting deck. I don't like the Blood Moons. They might actually be main deck. I do not at all understand that set of drift. I guess maybe they were expecting me to have some like City of Solitude, or it can't really be an answer to like Xantid Swarm because they just have bolts for that. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, that was really interesting, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.